Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at another Microman Magne Powers set. These are the AcroZenMine. If you remember the previous video I did with the other ZenMine figures, those three were kind of the good guys, the allies to Microman. These guys are the AcroZenMine because they are part of the AcroYer, which is the villain organization. I've never really pointed this out before, but most of the packaging has this little bio in the top left corner. It says, Microman is superhuman, 8 centimeter tall. He came to Earth chasing the AcroYer. Now save the Earth from the AcroYer. Use a table as a base. So there you go. That is the little blurb. The very, very basic storyline of the Magne Powers anime. This was the series that had the anime. So the normal ZenMine are the allies to Microman. The AcroZenMine are the AcroYer equivalent, basically. So there's only 2 of them. I know with the normal ZenMine there were 3, but we have 2 here. So we have Piranitron, and then we have Kabu-Turbo. So I think he's Kabu-Turbo because he's like a Kabuto beetle. He's got little pincers and everything, and we'll see that a little bit later on. I was trying to Google the names of these things just to make sure I was being correct, and this kept coming up as Turnip Turbo. Don't know why. Most websites I could find it on, it was coming up as Turnip Turbo. I don't know. Go figure. But I'm pretty sure it's Kabu-Turbo. So like Kabu for Kabuto, but then Turbo, kind of Kabu-Turbo. It's like a, fusion of words, basically. But they look pretty cool. They function very similarly to the other ZenMine. They have the robot mode. They have the vehicle mode, they have the pull back and go functionality, and you can also take the weapons and the heads and make little backpacks for the other figures. These are the bad guy equivalent of Microman, and I forget what their name. This says AcroYer no Power Up. I don't know. I can't. It's right. Power Up. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so anyway, basically, they can become backpacks for the villains. I mean, technically, I guess the Microman could use them as well, but they're supposed to be for the villains. They also have the ability to have those titans connect to the top where the metal ball is with their magnets. And then also you can see down here, the AcroYer have a larger robot equivalent of those micro robos or whatever. I forget what those guys are called, the red, black, and blue one. But they have the ability to connect as elbows and new arms and things like that as well. So pretty much all the same functionality that the normal ZenMines had. These are just 2 villain ones. So not really reinventing the wheel here, just kind of giving you a villain equivalent. But I'm going to go ahead, get these 2 guys out of the packaging, and we'll take a closer look. Here are the 2 AcroZenMines out of the packaging. As you can see, their base form is pretty similar, even down to kind of the markings on their chest. It's just painted differently. But overall, I still think they're pretty cool. So for Piranitron here, I really love the head sculpt. I think the kind of giant fish eyes with the fin, the overbite. Or actually, I guess technically that's an underbite. Either way, all very, very cool. I like that quite a bit. The pinkish purple coloring, not too bad. As far as the wind-up motion goes, you can see it moves the feet there. These are like harpoons, I'm assuming. You can see that they just peg in right here, so if you want to spin them around, you can. If you want to move them around this way, or if you want to go back this way, there's a little hinge there for kind of an elbow joint. The head can unpeg, and if you take these off, you can peg them into the back of or I should say the sides of the head like this, and then this would peg into the back of another figure. I don't have any of the AcroYer generals, but that's what it would do. I mean, I guess technically I could peg it into... Let me just grab Arthur back. Should be able to peg into him as well. Yeah, they're all the same. That actually looks pretty cool. So, they have that same ability. Put him off to the side. We'll give this guy his head back. Actually, you know what? We'll just go right into the transformation. So, you're going to go ahead, fold up the feet very simply. peg the arms in, and then you're going to peg these back in like so. And then you take the head, flip this peg this way, and then it pegs back in, and there you go. You have a crazy Piranha-mobile. I actually think it looks pretty cool though. It's definitely goofy, but I love it. If you were going to do the arm combination with the larger figures that have the magnet joints at the elbow. Sorry, I'm going to click this back, get this in the right position. You would peg these into here. So just like that, fits in pretty simply. And then you would peg this ball in here to its elbow. You kind of take its, like from the forearm down, and you'd peg this in, and then this would become his new forearm with crazy harpoon fingers, I guess. I don't know. But there you go. That's the deal with that. So I'm going to transform him back, flip these down, pull the arm. Actually, I'm going to pop the head off. I find it easier to pull the arms out when the head's not in the way. And then fold this down, pop that back on. And then we'll give him his harpoon hands. Should peg in there. Sometimes it's a little tight. And I did want to point out that it does have like a little latch here. You can see this gray button behind the harpoon. If you peg that in or push that down, it'll lock this movement into place so that the wheels won't spin anymore. I don't know why you'd want to do that. It's more fun when they can spin, but it is a possibility. I'll move this a little bit more out of the way. So next up we have Kabu-Turbo. And this guy's kind of nice because he's got an extra ball joint. So while he does still have that same elbow joint, he's also got a ball joint. Well, not really a ball joint. I shouldn't say that. Let me take this off so you can actually see what we're dealing with. Just kind of an extra hinge like this. So that can move up and down and then also spin around in the peg. So put this back on here. Oh, come on now. So it gives you a lot more mobility, which is nice. I appreciate that. It's got the same deal where you can use the wheel on the back. Actually, I guess I'm doing this the wrong way. And there you go. And again, it has that button if you want to lock the wheel in place. You can do that. I like the head. It's definitely goofy looking, but I kind of love it. If you really wanted to, if you didn't want him to have these pincer claw hands, you could unpeg this, and then you could take these, and they should go like this on the sides. And first you have to drop it. Obviously, that's part of it. Come on now. This thing is really not wanting to peg in here. There you go. So you could give him like pincer claws on the top so that he looks more like a beetle, or you could even angle them like so if you like that look. So you could give him cool little claws like that. It would obviously leave him without hands, which is kind of a bummer, but it is a possibility. The other thing is, of course, you could take this off and peg this in as like someone's backpack. So again, if I bring Arthur back in to demonstrate this for us, connect it like that. So just a little bit more playability that these have, which I think is pretty cool. Put him off to the side. And then if we go for, yeesh, oh man, I'm afraid these are going to get stuck in here. Ugh, gonna want to be careful with that. That's a really tight fit on that one. Yeesh. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead, flip this up, flip these up, peg this in, flip the feet up, and then peg this in for the transformation. And then again, if you wanted to do the arms, or make this an arm for one of the larger figures, you would peg these in very much the same way the Piranitron transformed. And then it would connect here as the new elbow point. Otherwise, we're going to take this off and peg this back in here. Or you could, again, peg it in here. I kind of like the look. I think the directions actually show you putting it here for the vehicle mode. If I'm not mistaken, let me double check that. Yeah, they do. For the vehicle mode, they have you put the horns on the front. I think that actually looks pretty cool. And then you just pull it back. And then races across at lightning speed, as you can see. I think it's just because of the quality. I have a cloth down on the table, so that's why it's not. Probably on like a hardwood table or something like that, it would rotate, revolve, drive faster, whatever term you want to use. But they're definitely simple transformations, but I think they're pretty cool. I think these are both pretty cool. I might have to give the edge to Piranitron, just personally. I think he's a cooler design. I love the fish head. I like the harpoons. The color scheme works a little bit more for me. I just think he's my favorite out of the two. Not to knock Kabu-Turbo, or apparently Turnip Turbo, if you ask the internet. I think it's a cool design. I like the head. I just think the color scheme is a little all over the place. But I do like how he has the extra bit of articulation in his pincer hands, and I like how you can put them up here as like the beetle horns. So I do appreciate that. But yeah, I think these guys are pretty neat. I found them on Mandarake. I think they were around 1,000 yen each, which isn't bad for, 20-plus-year-old toys still in the packaging, I have to say. The nice thing about this line is they're not terribly expensive to collect. They're kind of small, and they're probably, more expensive than they were retail, but I still think they're pretty decent. So I think they're fun. I recommend them, and yeah, I think Piranitron's definitely my favorite out of the two. But that's gonna do it for this one. So please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.